Have ever been in this condition. At one time in life, I was there. I was on the other side of the bridge, as one will say. Thinking of leaping, thinking of cutting. Today's topic, we're going to talk about suicide on campuses. Campus suicide. In the year of 2010, a man by the name of Tyler Clementi, who attended Rutgers, New Brunswick, took his life in this month, actually. It was actually May 2010, he took his life. And the reason why he took his life was because he was gay. And many of us may know the story. And it was really sad. It was bullying, it was due to bullying and his sexuality. What happened was that he came to his room one day with his significant other, and his roommate, who was bullying him, decided to record him. And when he recorded him, he posted the video on social media. And it was so devastating that Alex decided to take his life because his parents didn't know that he was gay. Imagine, it's probably someone who's watching, and I can definitely say this. Imagine that you're coming from a Christian background, conventional Christianity, and very conservative, coming from conservative parents, and that child now has to tell the parent that they're gay is really tough. And he felt as though that when people saw the videos, because not only it's people in the school that saw the video, it's also friends that saw that video. And probably some family members that saw that video who didn't know that he was gay. So he was like, you know what, it's no sense for me to live, not me, but him. So he decided to go on the George Washington Bridge, and then he took his life. And then another story we have of one girl from University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League. She also took her life. And it's been several cases, especially in the year of 2013 to 2014. They had 6 cases back to back of students jumping from the parking lot, also taking their lives. And some of them didn't feel that they were academic worthy. Some of them didn't feel like they felt they fit in the substantial tendencies of what their family wanted them to feel. So she decided to take her life after hearing a story of one of the girls who also took her life 2 months before. Because some of them felt as though they weren't pretty enough. And one of the stories that I read, her last name is DeWitt. And she talked about how around her, even around her friends, it was so much accomplishment, but to her it's a failure. And honestly speaking, I was there that time. Where even around you, you always feel that people are successful. But when you look at yourself as a failure. But not knowing that you too, you can succeed too. But it's really sad because these are real people with real issues. They may not come out and say it, but they're dealing with it inside and battling it. So the best thing they do is to take their life. And one thing that we must say too about Greek mythology says that when one commits suicide, they're a hero. And they take that into cognizance of the literary review of Oedipus Rex. They said that Oedipus was a hero when he took his life. Why? Because they feel that that person is not fit to live in a world like this. So Greek mythology teaches that one takes their own life, they're actually a hero. So a lot of these people, when they're taking their life from society, they're saying that to society, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not fit to be here anymore. Or I don't like my life. That's what some of them say. Or some of them say that I'm not fit. Maybe I shouldn't be around. And some of them are being bullied to the extent that they say, you know what, the next step is death. And so we'd like to hear from also our panelists too.
Amen. Well, I have a bunch of statistics because when I was looking this up, I realized it was a lot more than I thought. So there's more than 1,000 cases of suicide per year on college campuses alone. Like this is not including high school or any other thing. And between the ages of 15 to 24, suicide is the number 3 cause of death. And between the ages of 25 and 34, it's the number 2 cause of death. So you can see with this, the young adults, that's where the cases of suicide happen more. And the thing about suicide, well, today, I heard a couple of stories like on the internet and all, and suicide is kind of like glorified, like what you said, like people feel like it's heroic. Like there was this story, it was really popular about this couple. So the girl, she was a college student, and she was having a hard time with her parents and her friends and everything, and she killed herself. And her boyfriend, well, her parents told her boyfriend that he wasn't going to be allowed to attend the funeral, and well, people were just putting unnecessary stress on him, and 2 days later he killed himself. And it was a really sad story that people should be sad about, but instead the internet was kind of glorifying it. They were like relationship goals, and then they were Romeo and Juliet, and I was like, yeah, so that's just something that happens today, but it's not something that should be glorified. It's something that people should talk to their young adults and kids about, and there's also this new show that came out, 13 Reasons Why. Yeah, I don't know how many of you know that show. I mean, it's a nice show to watch, but then behind, like, what's the show really talking about? I mean, it's about this girl who killed herself, and she's like blaming people, and it's like low-key glorifying suicide. And I was watching, I was like, this is a nice show, but what is it really teaching with that? Yeah, and it's like so many things today are just like downplaying it like it's cool, but it's really not.
And a lot of people think that suicide, like they don't know on a spiritual aspect, you're not going to heaven by committing suicide and taking your life. And I remember many instances, actually, we knew of a person who came to us and said, they were having issues with school. They had academia issues. They had pressures not only at home, but they had pressure in school. And they didn't know how to handle it, and they didn't have anyone to go to. Why? Because the person that they would normally go to committed suicide themselves. Why? Because of the same thing. And this person was literally on the brink of, if school is not going right, if home is not going right, why should I just stay here? What is my purpose on this earth if everything is going on wrong? And we were able to shed light on this person that said, if I'm able to get help, then I will not kill myself. And the person thankfully is still walking around and waving and saying hi. But it's heartbreaking because we even had a close friend that was a nursing student actually. And you would think that because nursing is such a rigorous program that you would think that, man, like, you have to cut everybody off. If anybody really knows the program about nursing, you have to cut off everybody and isolate yourself in your books. And this is exactly what this person did, but this person also was having home issues, and it was starting to be, mingle with both academia and home, where she started slitting her wrist. And she just wanted everything to end. Unfortunately for her, she didn't do it well, and not fortunately for her, she didn't do it that way. But now she's a nurse working at New York Presbyterian. Amen. So, when you see these, it's like, how do we help these people? And why is it that they feel like this? A lot of times it's low self-esteem. They don't feel well enough, even capable. Like, okay, we love you all, right? You guys all look beautiful. And I can say, and I can be sitting in my mind, man, I wish I looked just as beautiful as they do. That's their thought process. I wish my lips could just be so luscious on the television. We joke, but honestly, these are the things. Oh, I wish my eyelashes pop. There's certain things that some people will pinpoint so negative about themselves and run with that idea, and not knowing that they're causing themselves this internal, heartbreak, I guess, if that's the best way to say so.
Yeah, that's very true. And I mean, a lot of situations that I personally have heard of or read about, like these people, it's like they're missing something. So, or they think that they're not good enough. They think maybe, what's the point of life anyway? Like, maybe the person, they do the same thing every day. They're going to a job that they don't even like, that they have no fulfillment of. They're going to school maybe for something that, is empty. It's not fulfilling for them. So they're like, we're going through this rat race of life, but what is the point of it all? Personally, I've had thoughts where I'm like, okay, what's the point of this? Because I'm like, okay, it's kind of empty. Life was kind of empty. But for people who maybe they have no outlet, or they continue just having those thoughts and feeling those ways, and they have no one to go to, or no outlet. What else are they gonna do? It's like a ball that just keeps building and building. And it's just that these people need an outlet. They need a purpose. They need to know what their purpose is, so that they're not thinking, why am I here? I shouldn't be here, So I think it stems from not knowing who you are, not knowing what you carry, not knowing your purpose, why you're on earth in the first place. And I guess, that's the reason that I feel. But when we look at research, it says that the reason why certain types of people commit suicide is because things such as maybe biochemical things in their brains, imbalance. Maybe they say societal pressures. We talked about societal pressures, and other things like that. But what do you guys really think is the reason why people truly commit suicide? Is it just a hodgepodge of all these factors combined, or is it really deeper than that? Is it deeper than biochemical imbalance? Is it deeper than, the person doesn't have money, financial inadequacies? What is it really about? What do you guys think? Why do people commit suicide in the first place?
I personally do believe, first off, you thank the Holy Spirit for this topic, because it's something, for example, I went to a Rutgers campus, and that was a prevalent story on all our campuses, where they even went through a lot of therapy for students because of how that so affected a lot of people. Personally, I think there's a spirit that runs these campuses. And why I can say that is when I was in high school, I was applying to colleges, and my dad worked in the city, so he used to drive us through the city, and he's like, I was like, man, I want to go to this particular school. I'm not going to say the name. Amen. I said, I want to go to this particular school. And he has some other factors. But besides that point, he said, no, the students jump off these buildings like roaches. Honestly, it started, when he said it, I said, man. I laughed, but I was like, that's not funny. Yeah. Like, the idea, he said, naturally, during lunch break, it's not a problem if you see an outline of a body. This is their life, And he related to a certain campus, which actually is the number one, is the campus the number one in suicides, actually. Wow. Where students are, so it came to me, I was like, man, it gotta be something that's pulling these students. Like, why are they naturally just, taking their life like that? And granted, we're so thankful that it's even on campus just because this is actually affecting a lot of young people. Yes. I personally had a really close friend to me in high school that actually committed suicide. And this topic is really dear because there's a time where one can say, man, and what did I not do enough for that person? Exactly. And that brings a lot of blame to a lot of other people who eventually also find their way in that same situation. Yes. So we thank God for shedding light. And we're so excited to hear the solution and the answer. Amen. Thank you guys so much for bringing this topic to life. Amen.
Amen. We have one more comment from the studio audience. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. This is a very serious topic. Amen. And thank God it's coming up, shedding a lot of light that at least we can take something home. And Pastor Eunice, I heard you say that about people feeling they are not successful when they see a lot of people around them being successful. I know I've heard Papa say that other people are succeeding does not mean that you are failing. It doesn't mean that. So why I came up here, when I heard this, I said, wow. Because in the College of New Jersey, where my daughter attends school, one of her close friends, because sometimes you can't even see this, there's no atom of, you cannot, you can't even ever think that this person, she sat with her, they ate lunch together. After 2 days, she had jumped from the bridge. She didn't die right away, they rushed her to the hospital, but of course she died in the hospital. So I don't know what you guys did, but if we can only see that sign and we can help, because like Pastor Chichi said, my daughter began to blame herself. Why didn't I say something? Why didn't I see something? Why didn't God show me something? They've been even on, texting each other, but nothing showed that she wanted to take her life. So my daughter was also blaming herself for why she couldn't see any sign. So what is that sign? What is that thing we should be looking out for these people that are trying to take the precious life that the Lord has given them? It's something we have to tackle. Amen?
Amen. We have a lot of comments. We have one more comment. Amen. Thank you, Holy Spirit.
Hello. I felt led to say this. There's somebody watching who is going through depression, going through something, and I need to say that the Lord Jesus Christ loves you. Amen. I've been depressed. I've been suicidal. It's crazy. It's not easy. Just hang in there. There's more. There's hope. There's more to life. There's more to life. There's way more. We haven't experienced everything. We haven't seen the goodness of the Lord, the fullness of His goodness. This is what we should aim for. This is what we all should aim for.
Yes, sir.
That's all I have to say.
Amen. Amen. We have one more comment.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you ladies so much. Amen. We have a comment in reference to what our pastor said about how can one even see someone that is on the verge of committing suicide. One thing that people don't know about people who do want to take their life is that sometimes, of course, the person is depressed. But once you find that person wake up all of a sudden and they're rejoicing and they're excited. A lot of the times people think that that person is out of the depression, but the truth of the matter is that's when that person is going to take their life. People look at it in the opposite way because they're like, oh, thank God the person's not depressed anymore. But that's when you should raise a red flag, because in that person's mind, relief has come. So now they're going to do it. So that's a sign that you can say, like, this person has been depressed for so long, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're rejoicing, they're joyful, and they're glad. That can be a sign too that that person is ready to leave and depart. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Holy
Amen. And we came across a prevention program. I know, thank God for all of your beautiful comments. There are actually programs. There's a foundation we came across that seeks to find resolution, seeks to find out why people are actually doing this, support groups and things like that. So we came across this foundation, and the reason why that they have even come about, because even though, there's research has focused on a lot of different things. So they focused on HIV, AIDS, cancers, and things like that. But maybe a lot of people don't know that suicides, the rates for suicides in comparison to all those other things in which I listed and other things as well, is that it's growing the fastest. So we need to know why. We need to know how we can prevent it. And that's what this specific foundation is doing. So that's a beautiful thing. But of course, as we know, there's also other ways in which we can help prevent people from taking their lives. As our beautiful brother said earlier, there's more to life than whatever a person may be facing.
And also the U.S. government funds $4.3 million in the research. $4.3 million. So people can make donations. People can make also donations even towards the foundation. It's multiple foundations also that's going to preventing suicide. And the comment that Prophetess Sophia made is actually highly, highly correct. And it's so true. And when we read all the cases, that's how all of the victims ended their life. They were so joyful. And the funny thing about it is people who witnessed it were actually the ones who commented on it and said that the person was so excited that day, but not knowing that's the day that they were actually going to take their life. Because they said that was the day of relief. That was the day of relief. So that will be all on campus. I'm Pastor Eunice.
I'm Pastor Chioma.
I'm Sister Elo.
And I'm Pastor Cassandra.
Thank you for